It never hunted a single thing in its life. No claws out, no kill count. The fossil record says it lived on bamboo and fruit for 2 million years. And yet, it could put its hand around a tiger's skull and close its fist. Recently, I posted a short video claiming that the strongest primate that ever lived could kill the deadliest cat that ever lived barehanded, and thousands of you flooded the comments to tell me I was crazy. You said the tiger's claws and bone-crushing bite would instantly shred what you called a slow, overgrown vegetarian.
You were right about one thing. The tiger is the ultimate killing machine. But Hollywood has completely warped our understanding of what primate strength actually looks like in the wild. Today, we aren't dealing in movie monsters or myths. We are looking at cold, forensic evidence. Bite force, cortical bone density, and muscle mass. 300,000 years ago, these two animals shared the exact same Asian jungles. Today, we are running the biomechanical simulation to see what actually happens when the perfect assassin ambushes a 10-foot-tall biological tank. Let's build our titan. This is Gigantopithecus blacki, standing up to 9 feet tall at full extension and weighing up to 1,200 pounds. It is the largest primate that has ever walked the earth, dwarfing a modern silverback gorilla by a factor of 3. And it was, by every piece of fossil evidence we have, a pure herbivore. The tooth enamel is worn flat from 2 million years of grinding fibrous plant matter. There is no predator dentition here, so why are we putting it in a death match with the deadliest cat alive? Because size and diet answer two completely different evolutionary questions. What an animal eats tells you what it wanted to be. What its skeleton can generate tells you what it was capable of if forced to fight for its life. In the wild, herbivore does not mean harmless. If you are a massive plant eater living in a jungle full of apex predators, your body evolves into a living fortress to ensure nothing targets you. To chew through tough bamboo all day, this ape required a colossal jaw. To anchor those jaw muscles, it possessed a thick ridge of bone on its skull, called a sagittal crest. And to support that incredibly heavy head, its neck muscles had to be as thick and dense as tree trunks. Remember this detail. This biological armor is going to be the tiger's worst nightmare. Then there is the raw kinetic output. Great apes alive today, like gorillas, already possess muscle fiber that is vastly denser than human or feline muscle. A gorilla's grip alone can generate force well past what human bone can withstand. Gigantopithecus scales up from that baseline exponentially. A single overhead strike from this animal isn't just a punch. It is blunt force trauma on the level of a car door slamming shut at highway speeds, concentrated entirely into a single fist. Its hands featured thick, short digits designed for one job: hanging 1,200 pounds of body weight from a tree limb for hours without slipping. Close that same grip around a spine instead of a branch, and it doesn't slip either. It crushes. To know if Gigantopithecus actually survives this, you have to understand the one thing the tiger possesses that breaks every rule of combat: speed to the kill. The Siberian tiger is the largest cat alive, weighing up to 600 pounds. But weight is secondary to its methodology. The tiger's killing method has been refined over millions of years into a flawless assassination protocol. It does not brawl. It closes the distance fast, takes the back of the neck, and ends the fight in seconds before the target can even react. Armed with 4-inch canine teeth and a jaw that snaps shut with over 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, the tiger is engineered for a surgical strike. When it ambushes large prey, it launches its 600-pound body as a kinetic projectile. It hooks its retractable claws into the target's shoulders to anchor itself. Then, it delivers a pinpoint bite to the back of the neck. The tiger's canines are evolutionarily designed to slide perfectly between the cervical vertebrae, severing the spinal cord and causing instant paralysis. Against almost every animal in its range, that opening strike is the entire fight. In the Russian Far East, tigers regularly hunt and kill Ussuri brown bears, heavily armored predators that weigh over 800 pounds. Nothing in a normal tiger encounter survives long enough to fight back. But every one of those kills shares one thing in common. The target has a skeleton built to normal specifications. Gigantopithecus breaks that assumption completely. And that is exactly where the math of this fight flips upside down.
The time for stats is over. Let's run the simulation. We are 300,000 years in the past, in a misty Pleistocene bamboo forest. The 600-pound tiger spots the lone Gigantopithecus foraging. Here is the forensic problem for the tiger. Its opening strike is devastating against a normal-sized target. But Gigantopithecus is double the mass of its largest normal prey, with proportionally thicker cortical bone in the skull and neck than anything the tiger has ever encountered. The tiger stalks the blind spot. It calculates the trajectory, and it launches. 600 pounds of feline muscle slams into the ape's back. The tiger's claws instantly hook into the primate's thick flesh, anchoring the cat in place. The tiger executes the flawless kill shot, biting down violently on the back of the ape's neck. But the assassination fails. The tiger's 3-inch teeth sink in, causing severe bleeding, but they are physically too short to pierce the ape's tree trunk neck muscles. The spinal cord is buried beneath inches of dense biological armor. The bite fails to end the fight in the first 3 seconds. And 3 seconds is the only window where the tiger's strategy works. This is no longer predator versus prey. It is two apex mass animals in direct contact. A scenario the tiger never evolved to survive. In a surge of adrenaline, the 1,200-pound titan reaches over its shoulder. Its massive hand clamps onto the tiger. Applying force in a direction a feline skeleton was simply not built to resist, the Gigantopithecus violently rips the tiger off its back and slams it into the dirt. But a corner tiger is a buzzsaw of blades. Fighting for its life, the feline bicycles its back legs, its claws shredding the ape's chest and arms. The Gigantopithecus is taking massive, bloody damage. If this grapple lasts another minute, the ape will bleed out from severed arteries. But feline bones are relatively hollow to allow for acrobatic speed. Primate bones are built like iron. Bringing its arms down with thousands of pounds of kinetic energy, the ape delivers a devastating hammer strike directly to the tiger's ribcage. Feline ribs shatter instantly. The tiger's internal organs are crushed beneath the unimaginable weight of blunt force trauma. The tiger gets the better opening move, every single time. But this fight was never decided by who strikes first. It is decided by who is still standing 3 seconds later. An animal that never hunted anything in its life, built by accident to survive an attack from the deadliest predator on the planet. That is just what happens when size stops being a lifestyle choice and starts being a weapon nobody ever needed to use. On land, gravity restricts how big an animal can get, ensuring every fight has brutal consequences for both sides. But in the ocean, gravity doesn't matter, and predators grew to sizes that would make the Gigantopithecus look like an absolute chew toy. If you thought a tiger's 1,000-pound bite was terrifying, wait until you see what happens when a megalodon clamps down on a solid whale skull with 40,000 pounds of pressure. I ran the exact same forensic biomechanical X-ray simulation on the megalodon's bite, and the physical damage is genuinely hard to comprehend. Click the video on your screen right now to see the exact science of the most devastating bite in Earth's history. Click the video and I will see you over there.